Okay, so where do I start this video? First of all, what's up, my peoples? Hello, dandelions. How are y'all doing? Um, so I said I was gonna take y'all on a journey with me doing the weight loss surgery journey. So I did record it. I'm gonna add the clips in after this. I just had to come in and do like the intro, leading y'all up to, me going there and talking to the doctors, and I'm gonna put all the clips in. But first I'm gonna kind of give y'all a what happened during the appointment. So everything was good in the beginning. I was in good spirits and everything. The first doctor came in and he had like an assistant, like somebody that's learning, that's probably like in medical school. I got to remember to look here. I keep looking at the viewfinder. Remember, look here. He had like an assistant with him. So he was like, "Is that fine?" I was like, "That's cool. Everybody got to learn some kind of way or whatever." So he kind of stood over to the side. First doctor came in, was talking to me. It wasn't the doctor that I was supposed to see. Now I was doing all of this through Wake Forest Baptist Health. I went to Winston-Salem to Wake Forest Baptist Health, and I was going to see Dr. McNabb. So Dr. McNabb didn't come in. Another doctor came in. He said Dr. McNabb would come in later to, he was just going to talk to me, get a little bit of information. Then Dr. McNabb was going to come in. So the first clip you're going to see is the first doctor sitting there. Don't show his face. I just kind of got it. It just shows his cross leg and him talking. So I'm answering all the questions and this and that. Now, mind you, before you can get a visit or get even that appointment to go in to see the doctor, you have to be a candidate for one and for it. So when my doctor put it in, she knew that I was a candidate for it. So that's the only way you can get to that next step. You got to go through the seminar. You got to fill out paperwork, answer the questions, go through the seminar. And then you can, if you're a good candidate for it, and you also have to get with the paperwork, you have to get your therapist or your psychiatrist to fill out paperwork, because they say after surgery it can be like mentally, it can mess with your mental. So you got to do all these steps first before you can even get in there. And if you don't do these steps and you're not a good candidate for it, you're not getting that appointment with the doctor. So I got the appointment with the doctor. I'm answering all his questions. The vibe was, from the time he came in, the vibe was completely off. Now the assistant, he was cool because he was just standing there observing. But the doctor, that first one, his vibe was on his vibe like he saw me and I'm in a chair. So it's like he's looking at me and he's asking me all these questions and I'm answering the questions. You'll see it. You're here in the clip. I'm answering his questions, but it's like he's just shooting them at me. And it's like everyone it's like my answers was like not good enough for him, or it's like, okay. Then he asks, he wants to know which weight loss surgery did I want. And I said the sleeve. And he said, why that one? I said, because I think that one would be like the best fit for me. And he's like, but why? I just answered that because I think it'll be the best fit for me. So I was like, okay. He was like, well, why I don't want gastric bypass. And I think that whole conversation, I think it was more like that's what they wanted me to get. And since I didn't agree with what he wanted me to get, then it was like, no, I think that I want the sleeve, but I think he wanted me to get the gastric bypass. He said, well, why don't I want the gastric bypass? I said, because I didn't want to be cut and rerouted, like from my natural makeup, how God intended for it to be on the inside. This is just me, my opinion, how I look at it. Anybody else who has had it, kudos. I know some people that have gotten it and they have had good results with it. That's just not the one that I wanted. Just cut the stomach off, that fat part of the stomach. That's all I want you to do. So he was like, well, you get more results with the gastric bypass than you do with the sleeve. I said, but you still lose weight with all of them, type thing or whatever. So talking with him, the vibe was completely off, and I just felt like it was just like a back and forth with me and him. So he leaves out and says, okay, the doctor was going to come in. And I was like, okay, I'm drinking my detox tea. Said that the doctor was going to come in and, have a word with me or whatever. So, okay, doctor comes in. Dr. McNabb comes in. and the other doctor that I was talking to at first, and the trainee or whatever you call him was in there. So it's still like this vibe, like they talked, like, and that's what they do. They do talk to each other. That's what they're supposed to do. So when they come in, when they all come in, it was just this weird vibe. Like nothing I said really mattered. Like I felt like I was just this back and forth with them. They wanted to know what is my if I get the surgery done, I come home, do I have a support system? I told them who my support system is. Like I got 2 daughters, wanted to know their age, told them their age or whatever, and they was like, well, I don't think that would be enough, like they wouldn't be able to handle that or whatever. And I was like, well, I also have a son that's grown that comes every day, just about. So I'm telling them my support system, and I have someone else that comes and will help me, like do stuff, like if I can't reach something or do something. I was like, I have people that will help me, so I'm telling them that I do have a system, but they're like, they're just like, it's like whatever I said was no. They coming back at me like, well, no. I told them I went to sleep. Well, you're not going to lose that much weight. You might not have success with that, and I was like, I will. I definitely will, because I'm determined to have success with it. They was like, everybody comes in here determined, but will you actually do it? And I'm like, I'm telling you, I will. And they was like, well, I just don't think you're going to have to, basically, the success that you think that you're going to have with it. And I'm sitting there like, floored, like, why are they doing this back and forth with me? So it was just like he was looking at the chart with everything. It was like, and what about this? And can you walk? And I'm like, my knees are bad, like really bad. Like I need 2 knee replacements. I'm explaining this to him. I need 2 knee replacements, but you have to be at a certain weight that they want you to be at to get your knee replacements. And I'm gonna do another video on that, explaining all of that, because that's more detailed. But I'm just explaining everything to him, and he was like, well, can you stand up and get on the scale? And I was like, no. Now, if I pump myself up with a whole bunch of medicine and took their drugs and all this stuff and just stayed pumped up on it, a lot of it, I could, with a walker, I could stand up on the scale and do my weight, but it's too painful. It's still painful even doped up with medicine. And I'm just like, it's too painful. And he wants to know, well, how are we going to weigh you? We have to get a beginning weight before we can do surgery. And I'm like, okay. He said, well, I won't know what your beginning weight is, an actual beginning weight, to know where we're starting at. And then you have to lose weight on your own before we actually do the surgery. So I don't know where to start it at, and then to know how much you've lost, before we. And I said, okay, I can understand that. But then I start thinking, I'm like, well, you do bariatric surgery. So you do surgery on heavy people. Now, my thing is, I don't know for sure, but am I the only one that has ever come to you that's like in a chair, a motor chair, that have bad knees? That's the reason why I want to get the surgery done, to help push along this process and make it a little bit faster with me losing weight, so I can get my knees done and get back to my norm or whatever. And it just floored me, because I just couldn't understand it. You do bariatric surgery and you have no way of weighing me unless I stand up on the scale. But it may be true, may not be true. I just felt like the whole thing, like, it was just like from the moment that they saw me in the chair, they just instantly discriminated against me. Like, oh, wait a minute, hold up. And once they found out, like, no, I couldn't stand up on my knees because it's too painful, you don't even understand that pain. You might understand. I'm not going to say you don't, because there might be somebody out there listening that do understand it. It hurts immensely. So I just felt like it just went straight downhill after that, and it was just no. So I got so tired of the back and forth that at one point, then my phone was going dead, so I kind of had to stop it while Dr. McNabb was talking. I had to stop it because my phone was ready to die, so the video stopped. But after the video stopped, I just got so tired of the back and forth that I finally just said, okay, all right. I said, is that a no? I said, are you telling me no? Is that a no? And he was like, yes. I'm telling you no. I even told them that, you see my bike right there? You kind of see the top of it or whatever. I was like, I got a recumbent bike, and that's the bike that I plan on, you know, using after surgery, because after surgery they do want you to walk and this and that. And I'm like, well, there are chair exercises that I can do. No, let me back up. They went into the, well, what you gonna do after surgery? So I was like, I got a recumbent bike. For that purpose, I got that bike so that I could do the exercises, because I do know that they want you to get up and walk so that you don't get no blood clots. Understandable. So I said, well, there are chair exercises that you can do to stimulate, that's like walking, like chair exercise, and really gets you tired. So I was like, I can do that, and I have my bike. And they said, well, have you ever been on the bike? I said, no, I haven't been on it. They was like, have you been on a bike? I was like, I can get on the bike and use the bike. They said, no, have you been on it? Have you used it? I'm just like, what the? I said, no, not yet. Like, I just got it and just put it together. Well, my son just put it together, so I was like, no, I haven't been on it yet. Well, you'll have to show us proof that you, it was so, like they was like double teaming me, and I was just like, I got fed up. So then I just ended it. I was like, so is that a no? And he was like, yes, that's a no. And he wanted me to do non-surgical weight loss, whatever that program is, but it's the non-surgical part. And I said, okay. I wasn't in bad spirit. I didn't get mad. I didn't get nothing. I actually laughed. I giggled, because I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I could not understand it. Like, you've never done weight loss surgery on someone that has it. I might have to look that up to see. Has it ever been done on someone that physically could not stand up on their legs, and that's the main excuse that you gave me to why you can't do it? Because for one, I can't walk after surgery, but there are other things that can be done to stimulate your legs to make sure you don't get a blood clot. And I know that because I had to do it when my hernia ruptured, and I had to go in and get that fixed, back in October, like last year of October, and they had to do surgery. I had to do, basically sitting down exercises. So it is possible and it can be done. So I just ended it and said, okay. So when they left, I just laughed, and I was like, that was horrible. Like, that was horrible. Like, them being doctors and doing the surgery and dealing with patients that are, obese or that need that kind of surgery done, to sit up and go through that tug of war with them like that, and they're supposed to be professional doctors. I was just like, at a certain point, I was done anyway. It was like, it don't even matter. That's why I didn't get upset. I was like, I don't want these men working on me anyway. Like, how they are in that attitude, I said, nah. I wouldn't want them to do my surgery anyway. So even if he would have said a yes, I would have been like, okay. And I would have left. And I would have went through, I went a different route, different angle, try to find someone else that could do it, because I was like, no, he will not operate on me, because it was just clear. I just saw it. You would have to be there. I never showed their faces, but I saw it and I felt it. And I'm not going to say 100% because I might not be correct, and it might not have been the angle, but it was just this. It wasn't right. It wasn't right. I wouldn't have let him do my surgery anyway, even if he would have said a yes. So I just giggled. I just laughed, and I was like, okay, and laughed. I wasn't mad. I wasn't nothing. I was just like, that's crazy. Two professional doctors, like, y'all really in there and had to double team one person. It's crazy. But I'm gonna add the clips in so that y'all can see it. I might kind of try to shorten them because they are kind of long clips, and this video is already like 15 minutes. I don't know if I'm gonna keep your attention that daggone long, but thank y'all for coming. Watch them clips. Maybe you can see, and then leave it in the comments if you felt or could, the same thing that I felt, or whatever y'all opinions are, leave it in the comments. And thank you so much for coming to my channel and watching my video. Remember to always protect your energy. Okay, bye, dandelions. Peace. Okay, so I'm back to chop it up with y'all to start where I left off from the last video, because I said ending the last video, I said I was going to add the clips from me actually talking with the doctor, and the doctor talking, and I can't get it off of my phone. It will not download from my phone to my computer for whatever reason. I done tried all kind of ways. I done tried my daughter's phone. It just will not let me do it. So I wish I could have added them clips in so that y'all could hear it, but the gist of it all basically was he said no. And honestly, with his demeanor and how he was, and I was cool with him saying no, and I left and I wasn't upset. I was like cool, because with his demeanor, I was like, I would have said no. I would not have wanted him to work on me. With the way that he was talking to me, I was just like, why is he being so discouraging and so negative about everything, and his tone and everything that I said? It was like a back and forth, like he was, well, who's gonna help you when you come home? And I'm like, I have my 2 daughters. Well, that's not enough. Well, I have a son. He's a grown man too. I also have you know, people that come over if I need some. Like I have help, but everything was just like a no for him. So I was like, cool. Didn't like his attitude. Would not have let him do my surgery anyway. So I said I was gonna get a second opinion, and I went through instead of going through it was still through Wake Forest Baptist House, but instead of going to the one in Winston, I said, let me try the one in High Point. So I called them. They scheduled the appointment, everything, no problem. I went through their seminar, and I actually liked their seminar and how they done it a whole lot better than how the one in Winston done it. And then everything was scheduled. The appointment was supposed to be for my first consultation with the doctor was supposed to be for January the 21st. Then I get a call after I made the appointment, like 2 weeks later, and was like, the nurse was like, we have to cancel your appointment. I'm like, why? And she said, let me check and see. And she was like, we received the email that we had to cancel it and to call and inform you. And she said, now this, she said, when she was looking for the email, she said, this email came from the higher ups. I'm like, the higher ups? And she was like, basically they're saying that because of my initial appointment with Dr. McNatt, I was calling him Dr. McNabb, but it's Dr. McNatt. From what he said, they're basing it off of what he said, and they're going with his recommendation. So even though I can't get the second opinion, I'm like, oh, he's such a hater. So at that point, I couldn't do that but laugh. So so I was like, okay, so I should have just followed my first mind, because my first mind was to just get out of the Wake Forest Baptist Health Network altogether. I've been with them for quite a while, and I'm just like, some of the doctors, I've met so many doctors that just have, their demeanor is just so nasty. But I was like, well, let me just see if I can, you know, what would happen if somebody else in the Wake Forest Baptist Health Network would still would say yeah, or what another doctor in that network would say. But they shut that down, said the higher up said whatever. I'm like, they such, you know. So it is what it is. So my plan is honestly to go over to go to another go outside of Wake Forest Baptist Health. So, and I think I said where I was gonna go, but I'm gonna have to take that part out because I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, I'm just gonna go somewhere else and see what they say, and they might say no too. But if not, then you know, it is what it is. So I'm still working on doing this myself, because basically the doctors, what they tell me is you can't do it yourself, and I'm like, yes, I can do it myself. I just gotta stop being so freaking lazy and just do it. It ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. Can't blame nobody. I did this. I put myself here, so I got to get myself out of it. Because at this point, I'm realizing that doctors just, you know, some doctors just don't, you know, ain't going to do everything that they can to try to help you and try to go above and beyond. They're just not. So I'm like, I'm not going to be one of your patients where, you know, we just going to keep her sick, keep giving her this medicine and this medicine and this medicine and this and all, and, you know, just have her keep it. No, it's not going to be that. Because please believe, I'm going to get out this chair. It's not that severe to where I'm, you know, I'm going to get out of this chair. And the only reason why I'm in the chair is because I had bad knees, my cartilages, and they're just like, just about gone. So it hurts. So everything else is okay. It's just my it's just my knees. So I'm gonna get out this chair. And it was something else I wanted to say. How did it slip my mind that they're gonna quit? But yeah, so I'm sorry I couldn't upload you know, the footage part. So yeah, that's what it was. And I still ain't thought about what else I wanted to say. But I'm gonna I just came on here to do this to kind of end out the other part, the first video, because I said I was gonna add the clips and I wasn't able to add the clips, so I had to come in here and let y'all know why the clips is not gonna be in there. But I got some more videos coming for y'all. I'm gonna try to stay consistent. I really am. Even if it's just I made a video today and it was just like, I'm like, they probably gonna be like, what? Why? I'm like, I'm still gonna put it out just to show that I am still trying to like do different things outside of just since I'm not eating. So this channel is just a whatever channel, like all over the place. I'm just gonna be all over the place. It is what it is. I'm sorry. So that's what it is. So my next video, if I think about what I was gonna say in this video, I'll say it in that one. You feel me? So that's it. That's it. Thank you so much for coming to my video. I'm gonna say the same thing I say at the end of every video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and hit that bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for coming. I love you, Danny. I love you, Danny Lyons. Peace.